everyone, it's Mare. I thought I'd just take a couple minutes to share with you guys a new part of my journey that I've just embarked on. It's January 21st, 2020, and today is my first day eating according to the carnivore plan. Now, before y'all get up in my business and start saying, oh my God, what are you talking about? You're only going to eat meat. What about fruits and vegetables and having a balanced diet and all of that? So the experiences that I've had and the health issues that I'm dealing with are pretty extreme. So I'm not saying this is for everybody. I don't even know if it's for me yet, but I need to try it out. I just kind of want to figure out if this is going to be beneficial to me. I'm very, very optimistic though. And, let's just kind of talk about a couple of the things that have not pushed me in this direction, but have opened me up to exploring alternate ways of eating. I've been on some pretty crazy eating plans before that were doctor prescribed for a reason, try and give my digestive tract a rest. I do have irritable bowel syndrome, but that's kind of the least of my concerns at the moment because I also have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a genetic condition that affects all connective tissue, and that it essentially has to do with collagen. And I also have psoriatic arthritis, fibromyalgia, severe osteoarthritis in parts of my body that are really not cooperating with me these days. So I kind of feel like I'm stuck a little bit. I'm not going to say that my health has plateaued, but I can't seem to get past this sticking point. So let's be really clear. I am not doing this to be like super skinny or anything like that. I'm trying to see if I can reduce my inflammation, my pain, the mobility in my joints. And so far, some of the testimonials that I've seen have really encouraged me to believe that this is possible. One of the interviews that a good friend of mine sent me, hi Robin, it's actually a physician. She's a doctor who lives in Denmark. She's originally from the United States, but she lives in Denmark with her family. And she has hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and she has also had lots of autoimmune issues, and I'm in the same boat. And she started eating this way just a little over a year ago, and she started seeing noticeable results in her joint stability, mood, brain fog gone, generally feeling better. The quality of her skin was better. She was able to start working out and going to the gym after a few years of not being able to work out. So that's actually the situation that I'm in at the moment. I haven't been able to exercise for probably the last 4 or 5 years. And it is something that I really miss. I've always been kind of active and looking for my next challenge and trying new things. And I really miss being able to do that stuff. So that's never far off on the horizon when I think of what's possible if I can regain my health and start feeling better. And and it's a No Makeup Monday today. Yay! So anyhow, that's just kind of a couple of things that have, I guess, got me to think that this might be an option. Heart disease has been a big concern in my family my whole life. I've been very aware of that. My dad suffered from heart disease, and it was something that we always had to think about. Every meal was planned out and with great care and attention to detail. And, my dad had to learn how to eat all over again so he could take care of his health. And we were quite young when he started changing his eating habits. So we learned right alongside him. Now, it's not to say that you can't have a really balanced, well-balanced diet and, be a healthy person. I see people every day who are vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian, or they just eat everything and that they're perfectly healthy. Well, I've kind of gone to varying degrees of all of those things because I'm not really supposed to eat dairy. So most of the time, if I'm baking stuff, it ends up being vegan. I have gone long periods of time without eating meat, and quite enjoyed that, because it's not that I don't like the taste of vegetables whatsoever. I really enjoy it. But meat has always been a very central part of our diet. My child is a meat eater, her dad's a meat eater. I'm very much a meat eater. So doing a carnivore plan isn't that much of a stretch for me. I've already had to cut out and eliminate so many things over the last decade, and have had varying degrees of success, and it's never been success that's lasted, regardless of how careful or how persistent I was with avoiding foods that I'm intolerant to, and trying to behave. But I still always believed, some days you just got to eat pizza. I had a naturopath actually once who he told me to quit being so hard on myself, because the very strict, very limited eating plan that I was on for about 3 months was incredibly challenging. It was heinous. And when I would go see him, he's like, "So how'd you do?" I'm like, "Well, good." He goes, Did you have any trouble following to the eating plan?" I'm like, "No." He's really looking at me in disbelief, saying, "Oh, most people end up kind of cheating at least a couple of times." I'm like, "No, you said don't eat this stuff, so I'm not eating it." And that's kind of how I tend to approach things, especially when they're new, is try and follow them to the letter as much as possible. Right now, I'm sort of easing into it. I didn't, stop eating meat stop eating vegetables and fruits overnight. There's always been a very restricted amount of fruits and vegetables in my diet because I have a hard time digesting them. So anyhow, this should be a really interesting journey. I invite you to come along with me. If this is something you're really not interested in, I totally get it. I mean, the first time I heard someone talking about a carnivore diet, I thought they were joking. I thought that, it's like the meatitarian jokes that I have running around my friends and my family. It's like, oh, definitely a meatitarian. Like, I fall into the camp of I could never give up bacon or beef or any of those things. And I've also watched a lot of documentaries that have been filmed in other countries where they have discussed raising animals ethically and creating a really solid ecosystem that helps to keep the environment healthy. That's unfortunately not how most livestock is raised at the moment. So I understand people's concerns about, eating meat and encouraging people to eat meat, but please be with me on this when I say this is very extreme for me. It's actually not the worst extreme that I've had to go to see if something could help me reset my digestive system and reduce the overall inflammation in my body. So I just would ask for your kindness and your compassion and understanding. That's really the kind of space that I've tried to create all over my footprints on social media. I'm trying to leave a little bit of empathy and a little compassion for everybody out there who needs it. So I would just ask that you do the same. Any comments that you have that might be beneficial, if you've tried it and it worked, if you tried it and it didn't work. If you tried it and it didn't work, I am so willing to listen to you. But if you tried it for 2 days and you quit, that's not trying. On average, if you're going to be changing anything in your diet and eliminating stuff, you have to give it a minimum 6 to 8 weeks before there's a difference. Even if you think about it, for people who have to get the celiac blood test, which I've had done a couple of times, you have to eat wheat for 30 days beforehand, solid, every day before you go for this blood test. Oh, there was a lot of bread in my life. But you have to do that so that your blood concentrations you know, are high enough, I guess, so that it can detect whether or not you are responding or reacting to it in a damaging way. As people who have celiac, they don't just get pain and inflammation, they actually get damage to their intestines, which thankfully I'm not celiac, I'm just intolerant to a whole bunch of different foods. And if you guys ever want to see the list, I did the ALCAT tests a number of years ago. I'd be happy to share my results with you so you can see the things that I can't eat. And that's something to consider also. Eating a carnivore diet's actually going to be a lot easier for me because it's pretty much just bring on the meat. For the first little while, I'm definitely going to be staying away from chicken. I know that I'm intolerant to chicken as it is. And I'm quite happy to go without chicken. There's plenty of other sources of lovely meat that I can eat that I'm not intolerant to. I still eat eggs a little bit now and again. I'm still going to be really cautious with that because I know that is one of my intolerances. So it's not like I want to go on this carnivore diet and eat the stuff that I know I'm supposed to avoid right away and go, oh, it didn't work for me. I am going to take out those things that I know cause me a lot of inflammation and a lot of irritation. So we'll see if I'll be able to successfully reintroduce something like chicken, and that maybe I'll be a little bit less reactive to eggs. Yeah. So I'm kind of a little bit snuffly right now. I feel like I'm getting a cold. We just had a major weather change in Calgary, which led to or contributed to this crash that I've had for the last few days. So, and while I was crashed out, it was a good time for me to do some reading and do a little bit of my own research into this to see if this is really something that I want to get involved in. So I would please ask, if you can like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get your notifications when there are new videos being posted. And not all videos are going to be no makeup Monday and super casual, but today it was just, I felt like this was a momentous occasion because I am undertaking something new. I really do believe in trying things that are presented to me that I believe could be beneficial. So yeah, I really hope you guys all have a good day, and I will keep you posted on my progress. Okay? And if you want to follow me over on Facebook as well, find me at the Mare1 on Facebook or on Instagram or Twitter for that matter. All right? This is SickMom checking out. I will talk to you later.